and I don't think that they have um the duration information in them, but I can find it for the ones that do have like published like studies for them.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever data you have, cite them.
Yeah.
And that's the current school of thought that it adds to durability.
Okay.
And then you can mention that you can look at other review articles about IPI and
Mhm.
cite that, IPI may be adding to durability, and then you can say it's unclear because of whether that is happening in ACC cohorts or not, because lack of data or whatever you can find, you cannot find. Comment on that.
Okay.
Reconsider data doesn't sound good.
Okay. Um,
We explored molecular landscape, or phenotype is fine too. I would say one patient, is it ACC? Just clarify it's
yeah.
ACC.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I would cite previous meta-analysis papers that showed one for NLR and one for platelet so you have to cite those papers here.
Okay. Um,
Same thing, previously described, you have to cite it.
oh yeah, yeah. I found the article. I'll put it in there.
Mhm. So I would comment that these NLR or platelet, these are studies in more common tumors like lung cancers. You found this, that the fact that we found this in rare tumors such as ACC or other salivary gland is something that is unique.
Okay.
This relationship has not been replicated, has not, I guess the rare tumor the fact that this is also replicated in rare tumors tells us that this is like the host immune milieu is really important. Like these are important regardless of the tumor types, whether it's rare or not. So
Okay.
that's another point you want to make here. I think this weakness is too long. I mean, you can write this for any small single arm study.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try to cut it down.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is important, but I feel like it's a little bit long. Just yeah, just yeah. So I would always write strength first and then limitation next. So
Mhm.
strength is that I guess there have been Nivo IP trial, or this is first.
There have been before, yeah.
Yeah. So you can't claim first.
Mhm.
Well, just say this is if you I'll go to other this is oh yeah, did you cite the DART study?
Um,
So the DART head and neck is so Liam, is it where is it in its publication? Is it reviewed or?
Oh, sorry, I was mute. The salivary one's still under review.
What journal?
I'll have to double check. I'll get back to you on that one.
So go into the website and make sure, it's not sent back to correct, anything or. So there's a poster, okay, Richard,
mhm.
you have to cite that here.
Okay.
Because the same as salivary gland it's head and neck cohort,
Yeah,
and you know how to cite abstracts, right?
yeah, I'll figure it out.
So that's really, really important.
So cite the DART abstract in the method section where you are, or in the conclusion, like with prior trials
So discussion only.
discussion. Okay, in discussion.
Yeah, cite the results and say, because I'm the lead author, this paper, I'm the lead author,
Yeah.
say our group has also looked into.
Or
Not coming from someone else, it's us.
Mhm. I just wanted to make sure, because I think I did see it online, like an abstract about that from AACR in like 2020.
Mhm.
Those different patients for the DART study and this trial.
Oh, it's a totally different patient. This is Northwestern trial
Yeah.
only. Yeah.
Okay, I'll write it down then.
So you just cite anything that's in the abstract only.
Yeah.
We have a paper submitted, but it's not published, so you can't use that paper.
Okay.
So the strength, it's an innovative basket trial, and next generation sequencing was available for responder. That's not always the case.
Mhm.
You know what happened to the H&E slide?
Oh yeah. So actually we managed to get a ship from Oregon over to us. I think Liam has it right now. And then I kept emailing Dr. Alexiev. He finally caved. He said he like sent an email to someone, and then now they're looking for it in the warehouse, and they're going to let us know when they find it. But they're coming soon. They
Okay,
should.
so keep trying, just be polite.
Mhm.
He has good heart. He said he said he's just busy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then every time you ask him, just keep teasing me and Liam, and
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because he keeps replying to me only, and I wasn't sure if he was like getting annoyed by like me doing all that like stuff, but I'll CC you guys. Yeah.
yeah, no, that's how he responds always.
Yeah.
It's okay. So that brings us to the question, like, you know, we want this paper to have a higher impact by adding H&E slide,
Mhm.
right? So,
And then
so
that can be.
once that's ready, I really want that to be added because we got the slide from them
Mhm.
and we need, oh, so Liam, did you scan it or not yet?
Not yet. I'm waiting for all of the slides to come so I can scan them all together.
Oh, okay. And I guess there shouldn't be any rush from the other hospital, right? We can return it and yeah, right?
I don't know if they want it back. I don't,
Oh, really?
yeah, I don't think they said they wanted it back,
Hmm.
but I can confirm, but they never asked for it back, so
But we can't keep it.
I, I'm not sure, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, you can send it back.
I think once we scan it, we have to send it back. We're not storing it. It's there's some law involved or something.
Okay,
That the tissue must be kept where it was biopsied for a few years. There's that kind of requirement, though.
okay.
Okay, so just follow up on that and
Yeah.
okay, where? Two molecular markers. What are they?
I think it was BAP1 and B core.
I wouldn't call it marker. Just say it. It was found to have these two mutations. Was that mutation or expression?
They're frame shift mutations.
Yeah, just say it then. And I'm not sure you can call it established association because
Yeah, they're
Is
like,
it like- hint or
sorry, what was that?
so what's the level of evidence?
It was a while ago. They were like these papers that show like associations between like those mutations and like patients with dysregulated immune responses or like wet lab like evidence showing like that they're associated with immune environment.
Hmm.
But no, like I don't think direct causation. So I wrote association established, but I can remove the established part too.
Hmm. So you can say they are immune related, but I don't think you can say treatment related because to have that level of evidence, you need patients who are treated with Nivo-IP. And by having this mutation, did their treatment outcome change? We don't have that kind of evidence yet. So you can be very vague about, what's related to the immune microenvironment changes or, that kind of tone. It's more preclinical evidence.
Okay.
No, immunogenicity is not the right word. I would say role of genomic and immune genomic and immune traits.
Okay.
Of. Yeah, I would. I would say, I guess, investigate the subset of HCC or salivary gland with unique immune microenvironment. Either reflected by certain genomic alterations or transcriptomic changes. That will be predictive of differential treatment outcome by immunotherapy in these tumor types.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
That's all. The rest below is like not part of it. It's just like
okay,
stuff there. Yeah.
so, and then the H&E slide is gonna be the TIL, tumor infiltrating lymphocyte.
Mhm.
That will get from Lunit scores, and was it immune excluded, or what was it? And yeah. So if we add that part, I think this will be much better.
Okay. Yeah.
Competition. So let's keep working on it. Yeah.
I think they're finding it right now. So I think like this week, hopefully we should get it back.
Okay. Thanks for being persistent.
Yeah.
I mean, I worried about it. Like we can't annoy people too much, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I'm glad he's not like my like grader or anything for clerkships, because like he's probably very annoyed with me, but yeah, hopefully it won't bite me later on. But yeah. And then
But, definitely. Oh yeah, definitely invite him as a co-author.
oh, okay. Yeah.
And once you write up that the H&E slide portion,
Mhm.
same thing, Liam, you ask Lunit team, like, who do you want me to, or us to add for the paper, and then both of them, the final draft, send them, ask for them for their review, give them like a week to look at it, and then we finalize and submit. That's and then what is the journal or something?
I was emailing a couple. I was emailing clinical cancer research. They were asking a lot of questions, and I wanted to wait for the H&E slides to come back before I could answer them, but potentially them.
Yeah, clinical cancer research is great journal. Let's shoot for that. And if they don't take us, then molecular cancer therapeutics good, MCT. Because we'll have biomarker. Like we
Yeah.
have we have CCR, MCT. If they don't take us, then we can go even higher, JITC.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
And are you also involved in the one that Dean is working on?
yeah, I emailed him. I didn't get a response back yet about like the progress of it, but like we finished one of the manuscripts, and like we're like partway through another. I was trying to see like what his like ideas were before I started working on the other one, but the Nivo Veliparib one is ready, I think.
Oh. But did you go through it or not yet?
I did go through the Veliparib one, the Nivo Veliparib one.
Okay. Should we go through it, or do you think Dean should? He's not here, so.
I wasn't sure if he went through it with you yet or not. Has he shown it to you recently?
Not recently.
He said he was going to join one of these lab meetings. Not sure if he's able to join today.
Okay, so we'll wait for him then. He needs to listen to my final comments or something. Yeah, so, but keep helping him, Richard.
Yeah.
Because you've done this one. there's a nivolumab and metformin one, so we really need to get that out.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
Okay.
And then I had some questions about the figures too.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Should I share screen and
You have in a different file?
in a different file? I can share the
Yeah,
file,
just share that file then.
the long file. But here. Um, okay, I sent in a chat. If you were able to receive it.
Okay, I got it.
Mhm.
Oh, it says request access.
Oh, anyone with the link? Okay.
Okay, it's working now.
Yeah. Okay. So one question I had for the patient summary table was, should I collect the ACC histology and staging? Because during ACCR, AACR, some people were asking me about like the ACC histology, like sub histology. I don't know if you thought that was important or not. Like cribiform versus like villus versus like
Oh, I see. Well, I guess non-ACC histology is also important.
Mhm.
So yes, both are yes. Put it here.
And staging too.
Yeah.
And then they changed the disease control rate. So the stats team like sent me an update in April, like their second return. And they had a different disease control rate. I just wanted to update you that like it is different now than it was before. Before it was like 12 out of 24 and 50%. And then in the new version they sent, it was 10 out of 24. But yeah, just updating you on that. And then there was more.
Do you hear me?
I hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, something happened to my microphone.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you were like reading it or
Yeah. So anyway, this is the definition, and they applied this definition, right? I mean,
I kind of calculated it myself based on like they gave the the duration of like before progression, and then like I just like calculated how many stable disease patients like had over 6 months before progression.
Right. So is this one you did or they did?
So they gave a chart with like all the information like PR, ST, and how many, and then how long they had before progression. And then I took that number, like how long before progression, and calculated the DCR from that.
Okay, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
how you do it, yeah.
So this table they recently sent. Should I like for example, if you have hypertension, like everybody has hypertension. Do you think that everything here should be included? This is like every adverse event.
Hmm. And the number, its order is by frequency?
I think by frequency in all grades, yeah.
Oh, it's too many.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's like 160 in total. And then this table now is for immune related. So this is like treatment related. The one above, yeah, this one. So there were two tables.
So I would make it supplemental tables. All these,
Okay, both of them.
both of them. So Liam, remember how you made toxicity table for the salivary gland cohort?
Yes.
So give that to Richard so he can kind of make it in that format because that's more standard.
Okay.
So keep all these raw data as tape, supplemental, but just reformat the ones that are notable. Yeah.
Okay. And then do you think we should keep hypertension? Because like then everybody has an adverse event. And I don't know, like,
Yeah, it's okay. It's not treatment related, so it's fine.
okay. But should I report it in the main article? Like under like results, like 100% of people had an adverse event.
I would. No, it doesn't make sense. So
Okay.
treatment related, just write treatment related.
Okay.
Hmm. So I wouldn't write Tempest Garden here. I would write tissue NGS, circulating tumor DNA, circulating tumor DNA NGS as a garden, and then you just put asterisk, and in the note you write that down
Okay.
here. So you can get rid of word like strata here.
Okay.
The green is kind of light here. I would make it more the letter darker
Okay.
and bold if you can. I don't know if you can, but
I can try to Photoshop it.
yeah, Photoshop it. At least like ACC could be like, this number
Okay,
or
yeah.
like same font.
Mhm.
So this waterfall plot, you didn't say what tumor type.
Oh, and this is everybody.
Yeah, so
Yeah, they didn't separate waterfall plots by tumor type.
you
Wait.
have to.
Okay, I can ask them to remake it then.
Yeah, because that's how we report it. So you need ACC, non-ACC, waterfall plot, and you need a spider plot. I don't know why you didn't make it. So spider plot is where you have resist change over time. So one line is one patient. So Liam, you can share that spider plot with Richard. So Richard, why don't you use our previous DART paper as like, you know, a example? Because that shows you the basics of how you publish clinical trials.
Okay.
So the waterfall and spider plots are must.
Mhm. Okay, I'll get with the stats team on that.
Yeah. And because those two are two different histology, I don't know, it makes sense to do so you can put these like this one as a supplemental figure. I would put non-ACC as a separate figure as a main figure. And both waterfall and spider plot for that.
Okay.
And when this one you can still use as a supplemental, but I want you to label which one is ACC, which one is non-ACC.
Mhm.
Right now, you can't tell. Yeah, same thing here, IR resist.
Okay.
So we don't have to say resist PFS. You can put PFS asterisk and put down in the note, say
Mhm.
PFS defined by resist version 1.1 or something.
Okay.
So equals 0 equals 1 doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, I had an asterisk, like 0 less than 5, but I can try to like Photoshop that and put it in.
Yeah, and then equal to put some, I don't know where equal belongs to, but you can do equal or greater than 5.
Mhm.
So change that, Photoshop it, and that.
Okay, yeah.
So there's no statistical significance, but you could just say there's trend for improved survival. That's it. There's the p-value is not significant, but at least there's direction of association.
Okay.
It's interesting that platelets more,
Yeah, yeah. And the hazard ratio too is significant for platelets.
Yeah.
I'm not quite, but yeah.
Yeah. Platelet is immune suppressive. People don't know that.
Hmm.
So when you say median,
Mhm.
tell them what that number was in the note.
Okay.
Same thing, neutrophil median. What was neutrophil median?
Hmm. Okay,
So here, neutrophil lymphocyte ratio less than 5 is a good thing. Right? Because lymphocytes more, neutrophils less.
yeah,
Good thing should lead to improved outcome, right?
it should, yeah.
So I think you did it all opposite here. Low platelet is a good thing. So the hazard ratio. So because this is almost, I think, the less is more, here. More patients, I think you start with less.
Yeah, less does have like better survival trend in those graphs.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
so it has to be all opposite, like 0.6, you know. So these are not, if you put these as a reference, then you'll have this hazard ratio. You understand?
yeah.
If you're looking for this, your reference should be the opposite group.
Mhm.
Compared to the opposite group, is this a good thing? Then if it's good thing, hazard ratio is always less than 1.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay, so good that we went through all this. I think you learn it this way.
yeah, thanks for going through all that with me.
Yeah. So same thing, and you got all other lab members, anything that I'm commenting here can be relevant to your projects. So we're learning this all together. Yeah. Okay, very good, Richard. So yeah, why don't you just follow up with Dean and I'll work on the other paper as well. And
Yeah.
so what is your plan afterwards?
For after this paper or
After this paper?
I don't know, yeah, because I'm in my rotations right now.
Hmm.
I I have thought about like taking a year off potentially. I know they have like these like clinics are setting up for like the MCD testing. And like I thought it might be cool to like kind of like work at one of those clinics for like a year potentially.
Hmm.
It's kind of been on my mind, like the blood ctDNA like screening and like patients come and ask questions about it.
Hmm.
I've thought about it, but I need to think more. But
Hmm.
yeah.
You mean like after graduation or you
Oh,
gonna take
after this
it
year,
off?
yeah, before graduation.
Like which year? Between
Third and fourth year. Me
mm,
right now. Yeah.
mm,
Maybe, but
mm.
I'm thinking about that. Maybe.
Yeah, MCD is a big field.
Mhm.
It's growing. Yeah. No, anything should be good.
You mind if I ask you more about that? Because like there are some professors who work at like different universities who like maybe like I want to like work with them potentially on that because they don't have one here at Northwestern. So
Hmm.
like Max Dean, like I know you came, we like went to his talk. And he works with like the clinic they have over at Stanford. So
Hmm.
I thought it maybe could be cool. But,
Yeah. He's extremely busy. So it's one thing to work. Yeah. He's a thought leader.
mhm.
To get his input, you might have to wait like few months, like even if you write something.
Yeah.
Even his postdoc told me like I can't get his like revision input like for the last 3 months or something. Because he's
Oh,
traveling a lot and you
yeah.
know it's a different challenge for sure. Uh so yeah. I think finding a mentor who's like who's available for you is always a challenge.
Mm,
I remember when I was in MD Anderson, people would brag about, oh, my mentor, if I text him, he gets back to me on the same day. Like
It's in the back
I
of
don't even have his cell phone. I don't like I email him and like he never gets back to me. So extremely busy people. But just just put that aside. The science is beautiful. Anything that Maxine is doing, but
Yeah.
but but a lot of it is company. So he or many thought leaders wouldn't necessarily work with academic like setting.
Mhm.
Anything that can be lucrative takes to the company. It's all proprietary, and you don't have access to it. Yeah. So yeah, I think at this stage, wherever you get passion, you should go and learn. Yeah, but our lab's gonna focus more on AI
Mhm.
with the pathomics, radiomics, phenomics, and then genomics and transcriptomics. How do we use all these data in multi-layered fashion and use that to predict response and look at all like the association? Can you look at radiomics? Can you look at pathomics and say, oh, this patient has EGFR mutation? That would be cool. So so all that, and then the other question our lab is trying to investigate is how can we best annotate heterogeneity of tumor. So that's heavy bioinformatics. Also, who is the right candidate for lung transplant? This is the next question. Yeah. And then the neoadjuvant therapy. How does genomics, transcriptomics, phenomics, and radiomics affect the pathologic complete response of immunotherapy containing neoadjuvant therapy? So all these things are the questions we look into, and yeah, and then the proteomics, where how can we utilize proteomics and other biomarkers to analyze toxicity, predict toxicity. So yeah, there's always plenty of things to do.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I bet.
You're always welcome to be part of any ongoing project, not just Richard, but anyone in our lab. Feel free to that's why we do this lab meeting, because we want to know what's going on, and then we can help out. And any one project, there could be a spin out project, and you know how things work.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. Keep us updated.
I will.
We'll go to Hesong next.
Okay, I'll start with Volver. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, so I updated the Volver manuscript. The highlighted parts are the ones I added. Could you take a look at it?
Yeah, I think it's better you send me the link, because
Oh, okay. Yeah.
the resolution is better if I take a look at it.
Okay. Um, and then I'll send you the Desmoid as well.
Sure. Okay. Do you see the?
Yep.
Introduction. So this is vulvar. And I know you're talking about HPV.
Mhm.
But I guess in vulvar, this kind of relation has not been shown, right? All head and neck data.
It's been investigated. I kind of described it in the discussion section a bit about the TME of vulvar. I only mentioned this because I found who's the guy? You know the guy at ASCO. He actually talked about this in the slide as like an introduction to like why we're studying immunotherapy in vulvar cancer, like why it's relevant, why it has potential in vulvar cancer, and so I thought it'd be nice to mention the head and neck cancer and how immunotherapy has potential in this HPV cancer, and so the results can maybe translate to vulvar, which is another HPV related cancer.
Okay, so HPV is how prevalent in vulvar? What's the percentage?
The high risk HPV infection is in 34% of vulvar cancer cases.
And where is that?
One third. Like in the middle, like the one sentence above where your cursor is. Yeah, right there.
High risk. High risk is the one associated with malignancy, not the low risk, right? That's
Right.
well, it's not high or not too low. I would say that first year vulvar HPV related vulvar cancers are, maybe you can say 1 in 3, at least 1 in 3. Thus understanding the relationship between the HPV as a potential biomarker for response to immunotherapy, is of importance. But then like in vulvar, we don't have much data, maybe, or scarce data. But at least in head and neck cancers, this is what we know. So this level of detail is for discussion. So I would take it to discussion. I would say, understanding that is important, but the problem is for our patients, we don't have that data, who's HPV related or not
Right.
related. So we don't want to
Yeah.
go this deep because
That's true.
like, you wrote this much and you didn't even check HPV in your patients and what you're writing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So
And there hasn't been any studies that actually looked at HPV as a biomarker for IO response. I think in other cancers it has proven to show no association.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I just saw it in his slides and he's like the
Sure.
expert in yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Undertakes and heralds the unveiling data on combination. So I've, it sounds too fancy. So so I think these are all unnecessary. So I mean I guess whatever. So I just want you to just rephrase the prior DART papers. Just write it very plainly. Okay. So this one is new.
Yes, I updated a bit. Yeah.
So which part did you update? Is it the whole?
Also, I clarified the PDL1, so in the NCCN guidelines, it said, Pembro might be used for, Pembro can be used for as second line or later treatment in case of high TMB, PDL1 positive, and MSI high. And previously, I didn't really write much about PDL1 because this trial didn't really show much association. It was like regardless of PDL1 expression, but like just because like the NCCN guideline mentioned PDL1 positivity, and they cited this trial as evidence, I thought I should maybe mention the positivity, like PDL1, right? Like in the last sentence, like responses occurred regardless of tumor PDL1 expression in this trial, but NCCN still recommended using it if it's PDL1 positive.
Was it based on this trial?
Yes. Yeah, we talked about this several times actually.
Yeah. So I think this is what I think. I think what the reason why NCCN recommended PDL1 high or positive
Positive, yeah.
Volvar to be considered for Pembro is based on the FDA approval of Pembro in squamous cervical. Okay, cervical trial is CPS PDL1 IHC positive. And based on that trial, because cervical cancer and vulvar cancer are like squamous spectrum, I think it's extrapolating that. That's what I think. Not based, this is a MSI high trial, right? So,
MSI high and TMB high.
and what?
And TMB high.
And TMB high, yeah. So TMB high indication came from this trial, 158. Has nothing to do with PDL1. So I think it was probably a mistake that cited this trial for PDL1 positivity. So that's what I think. That's NCCN can't be perfect. So this is okay, but feels a little bit too detailed. I guess the whole point is Pembro can be used in vulvar cancer. It's if MSI high is high.
I guess I'll shorten it and then take out the PDL1 part and then just say this recommendation has been like extrapolated from previous cervical cancer studies and then cite that trial.
Yeah, I think that's better. Okay. And I guess based on all these trials, I think the pearl is that the response rate did not really correlate with PDL1 status. Based on the data available. You can say that too. Okay. Good. The next one.
And then, yeah, so I fixed the vulvar, I fixed the desmoid, which is the second link here. Oh, and then for vulvar, the part about the head and neck squamous cell cancer, I think I'll take that out actually, because I think it actually makes our paper weak because it focuses on like HPV and its association with response.
Yeah, which we don't have. I mean,
Yeah.
say one sentence there that the, in head and neck, it's been related. So you could say it, the HPV understanding that and looking that is, could be important, but you can put that as our strength and limitation that we just don't have that status. Yeah, it's fine. Because the viewer is gonna ask that, you might as well have full disclosure. Yeah, we wanted to look at it, we didn't have it, that's our limitation. We know
Okay.
it's been proposed head and neck cancer. So just like one sentence for each is good enough to sort of block their criticism, like, we know our weaknesses.
So here I also fixed the intro and discussion. There, those are highlighted. That's abstract. So I added the parts about the spontaneous regression.
So I guess I think I would focus on, remember the whole discussion that people are very hesitant to use any toxic drugs. So the counter argument is that, if they become refractory to, multiple lines of therapy, and, it could be a fatal disease. People still die from DT when they fail to respond to any chemo or, so what is that evidence like in refractory disease? So maybe talk about that. And then number two, we did not find any even like a monotherapy trial with monotherapy immune therapy trial. Did you?
Right, no, it's just the soft tissue sarcomas. And also, by the way, about the mortality, I did mention in the third, the prognostic outlook paragraph, like what? No, the two paragraphs below. The prognostic outlook is characterized by blah blah blah. I talked about the mortality. Like what exactly about the mortality that you want to mention?
Right, reaching up to 11%. So does that mean 89% live forever having DT?
Yeah, they either stabilize or they, spontaneously regress and they completely cured. It's actually a good, yeah, for most patients, it's a good prognosis tumor. It's not even a cancer. But these, yeah, but in rare cases, mortality. But most people just struggle with like morbidities.
So maybe, I don't know if there's such data exists. So people who become resistant or refractory to standard of care, this is more of a prognostic factor discussion. So people who are not resectable, locally aggressive, does not respond to chemo or other therapies, what's their prognosis?
Okay.
Because those are the people we're looking for in this trial. So the argument is like, why are you treating benign disease with such a toxic regimen? So we have to have an argument for that. So you have to say, yes, this is, compared to other tumors, it's relatively benign. But if you come to a phase where it's not resectable anymore, people actually die of this cancer. And, when they're refractory to other standard of care treatments, you do need a therapy. So we have to say why we are proposing this therapy. That's the whole purpose of the introduction. Why did we do this treatment? And no one has ever done it before, not even single monotherapy immunotherapy trials. And these immunotherapies are much less toxic than conventional chemotherapies with anthracyclines. So we believe it's a fair approach. That has to be said in the introduction so that people are like, okay, that makes sense. So, all that argument needs to be incorporated. So potentially be attributed to ICI response, comma, or so it's kind of, you make it very neutral, but three responders PR. So one PR was 60-year-old. But two patients were younger. Two other PRs were younger. Because you only say one PR.
Yeah, 2 PR are men. So I just want to emphasize like the female, like spontaneous progression occurring in female patients because of like menopausal transition or postpartum status.
So we are advocating for our trial. We're not dismissing, right? So the tone is always, yes, the female patient, we cannot rule out the possibility that the menopause and all this might have, interplay. However, the other two were male, and they had, or younger, whatever. So this talks, suggests this could, this could be due to the immunotherapy response. So we're like, where is your point? Like, this could be happening. However, this tells me that drug might be what's really, helping patients.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so think about the logic. Like, what's your, if you say this, okay, then I don't believe in this drug.
Right.
The tone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything else is the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Just wanted to remind you, there is an ongoing trial that combines Nivo with the oncolytic herpes virus and also a chemotherapy medicine, but no like ICI isolated therapy.
Okay. So yeah, that's all you can write that in the discussion.
All right, we did.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Besides,
yeah, so for DART, I talked to Liam. So Liam cannot be the bottleneck. Like, whatever Liam cannot do, you should pick up and just write the, the results, tables, and you can work with any students making tables, doing reference, and they can be in the endorsement section.
yeah, I've been reaching out to Liam as well. I think we're both having difficulty. Yeah, but
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. I've been reaching out as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Besides DART or the Desmoid Volver, I also tried to do some thyroid part at thyroid cohort. The methods section, I asked Clara and she did reply. She said she'll get back to me with the methods section. I also asked for the full results, but I'm also waiting for that. I'm still waiting to hear back. Yeah, so besides the PD-L1 expression on T cells, I found some relevant articles that have to do with the PD-1 expression levels on T cells. And yeah, this one says how this PD-1 expression on T cells associated with favorable clinical outcomes. And those treated with anti-PD-1 therapy.
But this is on which cell? PD-1 expression in patients,
Uh,
in what cell?
oh,
Is it all CD8 cells?
this is PD8 T cells. Sorry, it's been a while. Yeah, just CD8 cells. This was a review. Yeah, I can look into it more, but it was basically the idea is that the PD-1 expression levels correlate to some degree with anti-PD-1 therapy response. So I can use maybe the articles I found to talk about each topics like PD-L1 expression on T cells and PD-1 expression on T cells, but I have not been able to find any papers that have to do with the dual expression on T cells.
So that's good. I mean, you've done extensive search, could not find it, then you have confidence to say, like, I haven't found anything like talking about the dual expression on T cells as a biomarker for any tumor type, not just thyroid cancer, but but either one, there's evidence that the both could be beneficial for anti-tumor response. I mean, people talk about PD-L1 on tumor cells, but the T cell PD-L1 expression could still be of benefit. Yeah. Okay. So good. I think you're on the right track. So I'm not, I don't understand why they're not sending you results. So
I'll send an email again.
so ask Kara directly, because she, I think. And then did they send you the methods? No?
No, not yet. I'm still waiting.
So just, you can annoy them. It's their responsibility. Like, send them an email like every 3 days, literally like CCing me. Like, we're waiting for you to send so that we can write up and publish it by this deadline or something. Like, this paper has to come out because it's a clinical paper and we have obligation to publish it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying DART is priority. I'm like, the more delay we have, the patient suffers. Like, so we can bug them. We're waiting for your full report. So we're waiting. And send it to Kara, CC me, and because they already presented all the data during RTC, so they have it. So it's just their negligence on their part.
Add that, and then also the ones I've done, like outcome analysis, right? Just kind of add all of that together, or what should I do with the outcome analysis?
No, any report they generated. Like, they don't have to do anything extra for us.
Oh, no, I mean the ones that I ran myself, correlating with the PFS and OS.
Oh, yeah,
and the
yeah,
relationship
so
between
that-
TND and CND.
So that is, you did it from the raw data, right? So that should be written as a part of our result and discussion in the thyroid paper.
Okay, yeah, I'll
But
add
they
my
didn't
part.
generate that, so they have, yeah. But anything they generated before, you should have a full report so you could write about it.
Mhm.
And our discussion should be select which one to add to supplemental, which one not to include. All that discussion has to happen once we have the full report.
Mm.
And I think we have last meeting coming up. Is that tomorrow, Liam?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, so that's really important. Okay. So yeah,
Yeah,
that
okay, yeah.
tomorrow is the last meeting, and then we add the nanostring data, and then we should be able to wrap up and ready to publish. But I think, yeah, it's just today, send them another email.
The nanostring is the transcriptomic one?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
So for all of you guys, there's RNA-seq that looks at all the transcriptomics. So this unbiased approach. But nanostring is a product of a company that's like, oh, we're only gonna look at immune genes. We're only gonna look at, proliferation pathway genes. So it's a smaller panel, so it's lower cost. And less sample. So that's why a lot of companies are doing nanostring. So that's what MD Anderson's doing for that cohort. So FYI. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I have some questions regarding my transplant paper.
Mhm.
So first of all, I kind of created this diagram where I kind of described like which patients I excluded. Do you think this is clear enough?
Looks okay to me.
Okay, thank you. And then remember how I showed you in this table that compares all these clinical characteristics related to graft rejection and the ABO mismatch. The hazard ratio between the ABO mismatch and graft rejection was less than 1, so like less likely to occur. And I did some more search on PubMed, and I think this could be because this rejection includes, hyperacute rejection, acute rejection, and chronic rejection. And ABO mismatch mostly causes hyperacute rejection. But
Mhm.
since this includes all of that, and ABO mismatch actually decreases the incidence of chronic rejection. It's like there has been some papers that I can show you. I found
Interesting.
2 major projects papers. So maybe could I maybe just keep this and explain that it's probably because it, includes also the chronic rejection? I just think it's weird to take out ABO mismatch and include HLA mismatch, which is more closely associated with hematological, like BMT.
Do you
But
have
it is still related to cell. Yeah.
do you have data on hyperacute and chronic separately?
No, it's very messy, so I decided to combine it. Like some variables stratify between, hyperacute, acute, chronic, but some variables kind of clump them all together. So it's very hard to determine which is which. The data is very messy.
So I would argue that at least just for ABO mismatch, if you can do subgroup analysis with hyperacute versus chronic. And
So I can't do that. I can't with this data. It's very messy.
hmm,
I wish I could.
do you think it's the problem of data or, your ability to clean the data?
No,
it's-
it has to do with it's just the way it's been collected.
Okay. So that's interesting because, this is a transplant data and it should be of interest to look at what type of rejection they went through, right? So it's
Mhm.
not collected in a way you can look at that.
No. I can show you actually. Do you want to see the
Sure.
variables?
Like hyperacute, maybe sort by that or.
Oh, wait, that's not. So this is the kidney pancreas data. Yeah, so this is just, graft failure caused by rejection. This one does stratify chronic hyperacute, but it doesn't talk about acute. And this is only for pancreas, so there's no information for kidney. And then, rejection confirmed by biopsy, but this one actually lacks a lot of data, so I did not include this. This one I also did not include because it had so many missing data. And then again, this is just rejection treated within 1 year. It does not specify whether it's hyperacute, acute, or chronic. Yeah, just, this only talks about the acute rejection episodes treated between transplant and discharge, but again, does not talk about any like chronic episodes or hyperacute episodes. And this is just regarding kidney and pancreas. For liver, it's kind of similar, but it has even fewer data. Again, acute rejection, no hyperacute or chronic. This one does say acute and chronic, but nothing about hyperacute. Again, just rejection treated within 1 year or 6 months. And then thoracic is kind of similar as well.
So only hyperacute is ABO, acute is not ABO, correct?
It's hard to say not, but it's just less. Like hyperacute rejection is what mostly occurs after ABO.
Hmm.
And for kidney and liver, there has been also report that ABO compatible versus incompatible transplants have comparable results. So these days, especially in like emergency situations, they do still transplant ABO and incompatible kidney and liver transplants. And in other organs, if it's like super emergency situation, then they would still go ahead and transplant. That's why we have
What about lung?
3,619 patients who received an ABO incompatible transplant. And for lung, there has only been 6 cases.
Oh, for lung, okay.
Yeah.
The
So it's mostly kidney and liver. As I told you.
they have more, okay. Well, I think well, I don't think we can hide. We present and in the discussion we speculate this is probably why we're seeing this. Yeah, that's good enough.
Okay. Oh, and then yeah, so you know how like, for transplant, obviously they screen for viral infections. This apparently has effect in both the incidence of graft rejection and also post-transplant malignancy. So I thought about including them
Mhm.
in our study, but the thing is, so these are the virus negative patients, and these are the positive patients. We have so many missing data. This is just the number of patients with negative, serostatus and positive serostatus. This is the percentage, and for those with no reports of the seropositivity is
Mhm.
6% for HBV, 12% for HCV, 32% for HIV, 22% for CMV, and 34% for EBV. We just
Okay.
have a lot of missing data, so I'm not sure if it's worth including the viral status, the viral seropositivity status in our paper. What do you think?
So what's our hypothesis here? If you're seropositive, then, well, I guess you can be reinfected, right?
It can be reactivated after transplant, and
Right.
that because it hypes up the T cell inactivation, it can contribute towards graft rejection, but it can also contribute towards PTM, post-transplant malignancy, due to other mechanisms.
But is
'Cause
there
it-
data affecting PTM not related to these virus? I can see like EBV associated tumors can go up, but I
Yeah.
don't know the mechanism of non-EBV related
Oh,
cancer.
non-EBV. Yeah, I actually did not leave. For HIV, I mean, HIV can cause a bunch of, to malignancy because it causes immunosuppression. But yeah, HBV, HCV mostly about a liver cancer, and then EBV usually like the lymphoma stuff. HIV can cause many different cancers.
Yeah, I'm surprised that these seropositivity numbers are pretty remarkably high. EBV much more so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
EBV and CMV, like nearly 50% of patients, like half of patients or more, are seropositive.
right. So yeah, if you what you describe make me think this could be a compounder. So I think looking into it makes sense. How does
What
that?
should I?
I'll do with so when
Is-
so you don't have to, this becomes a huge problem when you do multivariate analysis, but just look at that and the rejection PTM. So the question is, does the seropositivity affect the relationship between PTM and rejection? Okay. So it's just a three-way interaction. For that, you can sort of delete non-available patients when you look at that. Yeah, to take those patients out when you look at the relationship. So if you want to add them here, then
Yeah,
you could I mean, for here you can put not available as a
yeah. For performance status, we also had a bunch of patients with no documentation, so we did include it
Yeah.
here in this case. When we looked at the association between the clinical characteristics with these outcomes, I did include the NA people for performance status. And so, are you saying like take them out when I'm looking at the association with rejection and malignancy
correct.
for performance status and also the viral infections?
Yes. Because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just do the analysis without them. Like take it out from the denominator. And when you calculate the p-value here. For the
Okay.
characteristic table, you can still put them in so that people know the distribution.
Oh, okay.
But looking at the association, you don't need them.
Okay. But then if it comes out significant, I would still include them in the multivariate analysis.
If the not documented is,
No, once you take out the null, document it, and there's still a significant association between the positivity and the outcome, do I still include them in the multivariate analysis?
Mm-hmm. I mean, so what I'm saying is, look at the performance status. So think of this as same thing as EBV
Yeah.
positivity. And then you have not available data. When you do this analysis, take that not documented and just do the analysis with the two group.
Okay.
And if this becomes positive, then you would select this as a group for multivariate analysis. But when you do that, you take out from everybody, take out the ones with no data available. So when you do multivariate analysis, your denominator shrinks because you're taking out available data from many different variables if their p-value is positive.
And for univariate, I wouldn't change the denominator.
For univariate, still, you don't, for univariate,
Okay, oh, I see, because it's one by one.
still take out the not available group because you don't need them. They're
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
they don't have biological difference. We don't know.
Right. okay, okay. And if it comes as significant, then take out all the no documented patients. That would affect other variables, right? Because it's a multivariate analysis, and you just take them all out, run them all together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That will take some time.
Yeah. That's why I'm thinking it's too much of a work because there's so many you might just wanna run that as a univariate. You can include it in table 1 characteristics. That's fine.
Okay,
But you could do this, put them in the supplemental and just do the univariate analysis and see if that affects our main outcome, rejection and PTM.
or just separately.
Yeah,
Okay.
because if you add it, then you're doing adjusted, all together. So you can make a separate supplement of table just with the seropositivity and see, if the answer is no, they don't affect anything. Then there you go. You have your answer, and you don't even have to do any multivariate analysis because it's
Yeah.
not affecting it. At least you looked into it. So,
If
yeah.
it does come out significant, then I would rerun the whole analysis in the multivariate.
If it is,
Right.
yes, then do the multivariate together with the other ones. Yeah.
Okay. Right. And then now I'm moving on to Tempest. So for the mucinous, I guess since Dr. Chian is going away, me getting their data, I have not gotten their response, so I'm not sure where that's heading, but I can also send them like a reminder email of to do with it. Since I'll be gone this week until the end of June, I can also reach out in July and work on the DART papers and the other stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's taking so long. What are we waiting for? Their clearance?
Yeah, they're clearance. So they recently did the background check.
Okay. Okay, so my fear is that, Dr. Jian last day is coming soon. So, and you'll be gone too. So I'm now thinking whether going with Dr. Jian is a good idea. I want her to, have an experience of visiting the lab and all that, but but for our lab, it might be better for Liam to go because the, for the continuity. So yeah, so how about, I don't know what that date will be, but maybe add Liam. If Jiyoung can go, please go. If she's like, it's her final day, whatever, like it doesn't make sense for her to go. Then let's, still keep the Jiyoung, but maybe add Liam. I just want there to be a dual responsibility. Yeah, so work on that. I mean, something that we cannot control, we can't control. Okay.
And then for the TAP project regarding the tumor heterogeneity index, you asked me to look into, how other authors have calculated or how they measured heterogeneity. I did prepare a few slides, but it seems like other lab members might want to present. So would we just give them?
Yeah, let's keep
would you
this
like to
for
listen?
later. We will
Yeah.
definitely go through it, whether it's this morning or Wednesday. Or even after this afternoon. Because I have a few other things to do. But yeah, that we definitely have to go through. But yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll just. All right. Thank you.
No problem. But I guess sit down with Liam today and go through, divide and conquer what you guys can do for the next couple of weeks. Yeah, what's there, what are the data, who's going to do what, and whatever pieces left, because I think we have a rule in SWOG, and I went extra miles to get you as an author. So it's incumbent for us, our team, to get papers out. And we had abstracts out. That means, so the best scenario is when your poster is out, your paper is submitted. So I think that should be the rule. And because I think like I didn't push that enough, that while we've you guys are always like deadline for posters and papers, and because they're tangible. Paper, like if you're not persistent, it's gonna be lost, and the new project and then the new submission. And so I feel like it's a chronic problem of my lab, and in part to my negligence. So I mean, so this is the norm, and if the norm's not happening, so think of it this way: if you don't finish your patient note, you're gonna be like, where's the note? Where your attending is going to be, where's the patient note? Okay. And we know of cases where you have delinquency or delay in putting patient note, then you're gonna be kicked out of the residency fellowship program. So that's the clinical duty, right? But if you're dealing with clinical trial, it's the same level of responsibility. If you learned something from a patient who died, on the trial, you have moral obligation to report that ASAP. You cannot sit on the data. So, so I feel like clinical trial publication should be treated like patient notes. Like if you have to write patient note, you have to write it. You cannot, you cannot, work on other things that doesn't make any sense, that jeopardizes your career. So clinical investigators are dinged for not publishing clinical results on time. And their qualification as a clinical investigator in SWOG and CI will be taken away. So there's a penalty for that. So when I say it's of priority, it is really of priority. It's a priority in the sense you stop whatever you're doing and you finish it. You don't do patient notes, hospital cannot bill. And your whole annual salary will be cut by 30%. Okay, that's how they punish you in the hospital if you don't write patient notes. You're negatively financially impacting hospital because they cannot bill, right? So I'm just giving you different analogies to tell you, same thing, Richard, ACC result, we got to get this out. We just want to make it more perfect by having translational piece. And it takes time. And it's a fine balance. We compromise in a sense. Sometimes, okay, I'll just publish clinical data. But at least the abstract is out. But guideline doesn't change on abstract. No guideline change on abstract because it's not peer reviewed. So you have to publish it in a paper. That's the only way they can cite and change the guideline. That's why it's so important to publish. It requires tremendous amount of dedication, persistence, character, everything. So I regret that I haven't been too I guess but this is our new policy. When you submit your paper and you have a poster, when you present poster is when you need to submit your paper. So paper is something that goes along with your research. So I just want, this is for every member, that publication of any clinical finding is our utmost priority. Let's treat that as our patient note. Okay, so let's move on to Jian. Oh, let's take a bathroom break for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Let's start.
Okay. For first original article, it is in review pending. It is submitted to Annals of Transplantation. And second original article, I made the revision and I submitted, and now the editor is evaluating the revision. So we're gonna get the final decision soon. It is submitted to Transplantation International. Okay, and the third review article, I made a revision, and I guess first revision review also completed. So I think we can get results soon as well. So these are the transplantation. And next project is the RadioMix. We collected 209 patients with clinical data, and second round of DICOM file also asked to Edwin. So I think he's working on right now. And I analyze the data. I will show you a little bit later. And then Peter is uploading the DICOM file to ImageTrier. It is almost 50% done. And also the segmentation is ongoing. We are doing that. And tomorrow we're gonna have a meeting with Professor Yuri. So we can talk about this project as well as the other project that the Yuri is prepared.
So, so tell me how many segmentation, how many files are uploaded for us to do the segmentation, and how many have already been done?
Well, uploading to our drive is done. First round is done, and that's why we.
How many patient is that?
170, I guess. 130, I guess.
30, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So is that the one Jisang looked at?
Actually, after Jisang finished his abstract, I looked that data again, but there was so many ineligible patients. For example, the patient received the targeted therapy, but I guess they assumed that is the immunotherapy because the terms are very similar, but that was the targeted therapy. So I had to delete the patient. And then it was almost 140 when Jisang did that project, but it became less than 100, something like that. So I added the EASL's list that EASL gave me. And then we found directly from the EPIC. So that's why now the patient number became 209.
So 209, but we don't have the icon file yet for them. We have one.
Yeah, we don't have 70 cases.
So we have 170 or 130?
130 we have.
So for the 130, we do we have segmentation for all of them or?
No, I guess almost a half are done by a previous team. So rest of that we are doing. So I think we can make an abstract that by the end of June for that conference. I forgot that name.
Susie, yeah.
Yeah, I think I can. I think we can.
Okay. Okay, so Yeah, whatever the result is, just like Jisung did. You know, yeah, we need to do the updated version.
Okay.
Now, when you get that outcome, is anyone collecting toxicity data?
Only what I have is pneumonitis, but I don't have any toxicity data.
Okay, so let's just make sure for that 130 patients, there is pneumonitis data.
Okay, I have.
Yeah. So that for that, so we're not only predicting response, but let's see if we can predict pneumonitis.
Okay.
Okay, next.
Well, this result was analyzed with a 209 patient. This table is clinical pathology characteristics of patient based on immune-related resist, IR resist.
Mhm.
And most of them there didn't show any statistical significance, but platelet, when the platelet was higher at baseline, they showed was non-responder was higher.
Higher platelet and non-responder.
Yeah, non-responder. And this is survivor outcome based on the IR resist between durable responder versus a non-responder. Only bone metastasis show the difference.
So you have IR resist up there, but in this category you have resist. Why is that? Table 2 IR resist.
I'm sorry, I had to remove this one because I made another table based on the resist. So I just copy and paste them, sorry.
But what about the IR resist responses? Do you need them or no?
Oh, I have, just give me 1 second. Oh, yeah, I have to update this based on the IR resist, not resist.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. And there was a difference in bone metastasis, and I saw this metastasis after immunotherapy, not baseline. So anyway, there was a statistical significance between two groups. And
Wait. So after this metastasis occurred after?
I mean, after initiation of immunotherapy. You want me to see that at baseline? Is that more?
Because like after can mean many things, because it's biased by duration of follow-up too.
Oh,
Did they
okay.
live long enough to get the so I guess if it is a hyperprogression paper, then is new bone brain mets part of the hyperprogression? That makes sense. But if this is any time after initiation of treatment, then it can be full of bias too.
But it was during the treatment period
Mm,
still.
still, like, just having brain mets,
Mhm.
mean, during, you're gonna have that in non-responder by definition, because it happens after treatment. But
Okay,
even if it's
okay, I
during
got it.
treatment- So it has to be at diagnosis, otherwise. it doesn't-
Okay. Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I will update it. And next two tables are analyzed based on RECIST 101, and those should be the supplementary table. Most of them were similar, but here TMB showed significance and platelet as well. This is based on the RECIST 101.
So. So this, which one is going to be supplemental?
Based on RECIST 101, because we are focusing on IR RECIST. Those are going to major tables.
Okay. I agree. So, so here, same thing, higher platelets, means,
Show the higher rate of non-responder.
right, and then higher TMB meant what?
Higher TMB showed a higher rate of respond.
Yep, okay.
This is a similar, but based on the RECIST 101. And here I will update these two.
So there's a mixed immunotherapy and radiation included related.
Well, yeah, this is pneumonitis.
What is other reason?
It's kind of the reason that described as obstructive pneumonitis, something like that, but it was not because of immunotherapy, not because of the radiation.
Hmm. The reviewer's gonna say, like,
Well, that is just a table because this radiomics. We should find the association between radiomic features with the clinical data.
Mhm.
So I think this is not that much important.
Yeah, we'll leave it like
Yes.
this for
Yeah.
now.
And I want to show you that I'm trying to make design for a paper, and I will ask to Professor Yuri which feature extracted exactly from our radiomics project. So I will complete it. And this is a survivor outcome based on the IR RECIST. So left one is the progression-free survivor and right side is overall survivor.
Hmm.
Obviously, there were a statistical significance between two groups,
Mhm.
but this is so basic research, so I made it. And next one is based on the RECIST 101.
Hmm.
Seems like very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is what I did so far for radio mix.
So for durable response, did you add just stable disease or no?
I added stable disease on responder group.
Okay, for stable disease for 24 weeks.
Oh,
Added.
yes, yes.
That's fine. Yeah.
And liquid biopsy, it is submitted to Helium. Still, it is with the editor. So we have to wait the result.
Okay.
And I think someone has to take care of this paper after I'm leaving the lab. Or I can do, because it's not a big deal for me. I can handle it. But I just want to ask your opinion.
I think you will have to publish all your transplant papers, right? So
Mhm.
you're gonna go in and check anyway. So I don't want you to do it just for this, but you're checking the transplant papers anyway. So I think it's
Okay.
fine to just have-
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can do it. And the last one is the ctDNA. We're gonna have another meeting with the Pradesen. I guess the date would be 23rd June. Oh, 21st, I guess.
21st, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's prepare, make tables and we're, everything they want for that meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is all I have. And regarding teacher health,
Teacher
uh-huh. Liam and Isel and I and Hisong, we are making another list that we have to recast the pathology slides. So as soon as it's done, I will send it to Liam and we can proceed that project as well.
Yeah, so Picture Health has both, H&E and radiomics, right? So, so Liam, because we had so many meetings at AACR, why don't you create could be Excel file or a Google file, Google Doc, each page, each, and
Liam, you're muted. Oh, he's doing his phone call. So
wonderful. Yeah. So I guess, work with Liam to make a table. Maybe Haesung, you can help Liam. For the companies, what are the, pending stuff? Obviously you're involved in Zencor and the other like clinical trials. What are pending from companies? Maybe we should make a table. And at least check on that table and see, have they responded, not responded, and then send follow-up email. And then if it's the ball is on our court, when is our deadline to get the list for them? I think we have to, for the things that we followed up at ACR and ASCO, I think we should do that. So Liam, work on that, and Haesung, you can help him. I think.
Yeah, by the way, Agenus and Zencor have not responded to our last trial collaboration email.
Yeah. Why don't you send another email today and I will follow up? Okay.
Oh, and we actually had a question, Dr. Che, for the H&E slides that we're collecting for this data set.
Huh?
So, our primary goal is to look at the TIL score. can it only be lung like H&E slides, or can it be from other sites like metastases, like lymph nodes or brain mets or other organs?
Good question. So yes, it can be other organs. Lung preferred. So here's the thing. Let's say if we have biopsy from 2 different slides, let's say one lymph node, one from lung, then it's like a sensitivity analysis. We can do analysis just from lung. We can do analysis adding using lymph node and see if anything changes, because we don't know the answer. The lung cancer cells should look the same, whether they're in the lymph node or in the lung. So in theory, it should not be different, but tumor heterogeneity, all tumor sites are different. So going forward, I think when we request slides, I feel like we can request lung preferred, but if we have, let's say, lymph node, liver, we should ask for that slide as well.
Okay.
Okay, so basically all the slides we have on those patients.
Yeah, because we don't know what's going to happen.
Okay.
What if the patients received multiple times of a biopsy from the lung?
So anything that's closest to the start of immunotherapy.
Oh, okay.
Anything else?
That's all I have today.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Chen.
So, Dr. Chiang, like I said, I want you to present the recent evidence on like the neoadjuvant and ctDNA papers, so that we're caught up on the trend. What are the recent findings, and how did they make their own tables and figures? So I want you to present that on our next lab meeting. Okay. Okay, just quick update. Taegu, tell me what you've been doing so far.
Okay, I've been working on the radiomics with Peter, and we've uploaded, as Dr. Xian said, almost the half of the files to on the image trial, and yep, we're still segmenting and doing some segmenting, and we'll do as many as possible before the meeting. So yep, that's it. And
Wait. When is the abstract deadline?
It's June 27.
So we only have one more lab meeting, 20th.
Yes.
And we need to give Yuri time to do the analysis. So when is the deadline to finish segmentation?
For 209 patients?
No, for 130 patients.
Oh, okay. I just heard that the abstract yesterday, so I will decide the timeline, but I hope we can finish it within this week,
Okay.
because it's 130.
Right. And a lot of them are done, right?
Yes. but I have to check whether they're really done or not.
Okay.
I've been checked, but I have to solve the 130 pages. So I can do it today.
Okay, and we also need to know whether they have response by RESIST criteria. So for them,
Oh, we all have that data.
okay, so we have RESIST for all of them.
Mhm.
That's the segmentation.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So prioritize that. Uploading image trial can come next.
Okay, sure.
Prioritize the segmentation,
Mhm.
the data to Yuri, give Yuri
Okay.
a deadline. So hopefully we send all the segmentation to Yuri by, end of Friday. And then
Mhm.
you analyze the data on Monday and send us what we have, and we can discuss that on Tuesday.
Okay.
And then we'll figure out, what to do. Let's have that as a SITC deadline for radiomics. And if you have, for this, if you can, for 130 patient, just document. So what you need is grade of pneumonitis,
Mhm.
grade, date of
Okay.
date of pneumonitis, and time to toxicity calculation. You can look at Easer's very strat paper.
Mhm.
And Liam, you can send it to Jian. So the baseline factors, and it was just very strat good or poor, but it could be some sort of radiomics feature that can separate time to toxicity curve. And that toxicity can only be a pneumonitis because we're doing with just the radiomics.
Yeah.
So this could be potentially two different papers. Toxicity prediction and response prediction.
Okay.
But everything that Jisang did, it could be looking at other things like EGFR, TTF.
Mhm.
And he did, we can repeat it and see if with our new data set, is it any better?
Okay.
Okay. Take you, anything else?
Yeah, actually I contacted like Dr. Gimisu to discuss the neoadjuvant study, and she told me that she's gonna arrange a Zoom meeting as soon as possible, and we're gonna discuss the current status.
Okay, so Taegyu is gonna work on neoadjuvant data set, and as well as finishing up some proteomics paper with Iser. And then there's a blood and tissue TMB paper that she's wrapping up. So you're gonna help her finish those projects, collect the neoadjuvant data, but still work on the radiomics as well. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
very good. Peter, tell me what you've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, similar to Dr. Taegyu, I've just been uploading image trial and finishing segmenting. Finished up my portion, and so we're working on just rounding out the patients we have left. I'm pretty sure we'll be mostly done, if not finished, by the end of the week, in terms of the patients that we have on our DICOM file. But yeah.
Okay. So yeah, work with Jian. Anything she needs, work with her. Same thing. Haesung, feel free to work with Peter if you need any help in terms of manuscript writing. Yeah. We always have lots of things to do. So yeah. Okay. Arnie, update on your end.
Actually, I quite grateful that yesterday Jion gave me all the feedback that you gave us for the manuscript. So right now, me and Eugene will try to finish what you advised for both of us for the feedback, maybe 1 or 2 days. but within this week, we hope that we can show you another version from your feedback.
Okay, good, good. I think we're almost halfway to June. Yeah, so the goal is really to submit before July, okay?
Yeah, we will definitely submit it soon. I already said before Eugene start her residency, we need to submit that.
Yes. You guys are all almost there, but still.
Yeah.
What was the journal we're submitting to?
GITC, GITC.
Okay. Okay,
Thank you so much, Dr. Che.
no problem, no problem. Okay, Liam, any updates?
I've been mainly working on getting our biomarker study logistics sorted out. So we checked yesterday, but all the contracting is currently with the legal department. So hopefully they'll send it out soon. And I've been in contact with our CTO startup team, and it seems like they should be able to allocate a research coordinator who can follow up on the patients who we enroll. And then I also saw your email about the SAINT trial, how we could basically enroll the patients to both of the studies at the same time so that they can get the ctDNA follow-up.
Yeah, it's not only ctDNA, but everything else, right?
Right, everything else too. Yeah, so that will probably get, like, that one needs to go through IRB approval. So I think just given our experience.
Biomarker will open up first, so not a problem. Yeah. And we have 100 patients
Hopefully,
there.
yeah, hopefully. It's just the contracting piece. So yeah.
Yeah. So
And
again,
then,
send me a PowerPoint for tomorrow. I might have to discuss.
yeah, so I actually sent it yesterday. It's in your messenger. Did you want to check it now, or did you want to just
Is
give me
it in
some
the
comments later?
messenger?
Yeah.
Oh. No, if I got it.
So you just asked me to put together like 2-3 slides very basically with the basic information about the study. So I just put the schema in there, the different companies, the different cohorts, like a very high level overview of the study.
So yeah, I've opened it. So Oncocyte, did they did they commit or not commit?
Oncocyte is committed to one of the cohorts. So all the companies there are all confirmed. OncoHost has a period there because they said they're going to reassess their commitment to cohorts B and C after they see the results of cohort A first. So yeah, that's where we stand. So obviously while we work
cohort
on
A, are we still working on the contract to send cohort A or?
Yeah, so the contracts that we saw reviewed yesterday, so that includes for all 3 cohorts, depending on which cohorts the companies are like signed up for. So if they signed up for all 3 cohorts, that contract will cover all 3. If they only signed up for one of them, it'll only be for that one cohort that they specifically said they were interested in.
Okay, can you pull up the slides? I want to give comments, and I think
Sure.
lab members should see what's going on too.
Let me just Oh, and while I find this, I had a question for Dr. Chian actually about the radiomics project. So how many sets, like different sets of segmentations are we getting? Are we getting 1 set of segmentations or 3 distinct sets?
What do you mean sets?
So the way we did Dr. Chisang's project was, and I think this is typically how radiomics projects are done, is that we need 3 independent coders to do the segmentations 3 times. So like each patient will be segmented by 3 different people and we'll have 3 different sets of segmentations.
Yeah, at least 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that should be good enough.
And are we doing it just the baseline or 2 times?
For now, just the baseline, but we will ask to Professor Yuri if he needs the delta value, that maybe we have to do more with the first follow-up CT scan. So
So Liam, did Jisang do delta or not? No.
No, it's just
No,
baseline.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay. You can share your
So,
slide.
Yep, I'm gonna share the screen. So I guess for everybody else who's not familiar with this study, this is the blood biomarker study that we ran in this lab. I think we started in 2018. So that was the initial cohort A, 100 patients. That portion of the study has completed. And we're just running some additional analyses on some of the remaining samples that we have. And then recently we've started, or we're planning to launch 2 more additional cohorts, cohort B and C, all in lung cancer patients, 100 patients each. It has been IRB approved, and we're just contracting with our collaborators outside. And these are the sub-investigators that we have on the protocol. I just left it in there. I don't know if you want to necessarily show that, but I just put that there for now. And this is kind of the summary of the study itself. Very generic overview of the study, and then here includes the 3 cohorts. And like I said, cohort A is already completed. And then cohort B is going to be the advanced stage lung cancers whose tumors are surgically unresectable and treated with immunotherapy. So this is more therapy monitoring use case of blood-based biomarkers. And then cohort C is the lung cancer treated with curative intent treatment, surgery, or concurrent chemoradiotherapy. So this will be the minimal residual disease component of blood biomarkers, where we're screening patients for any recurrence.
What is number 3 here? Cancers included? What does that mean?
So this is just referring to the 3 cohorts here. Or should I just say cohorts included?
Oh, I mean, just delete it. I think cohort ABC is.
Sure.
And this is just a lung cancer, but the trial is written as like solid tumor, so. Okay. Can you go back to the investigator? Is that right now? This is
What's on the protocol.
Nisha, Jyoti, Yanis, and Kit. Okay.
And then there was a statistician on the protocol, but I didn't mention his name.
If you can add it, that would be better. Yeah.
Okay, I can add the statistician.
And for sub-investigators, how about co-investigators? And put Jyoti first, then Nisha, then Yanis, and then then Ankit, then everybody else. So Ankit should be in front of Hiping Lu.
Okay.
And you can take out the emails. You don't need. You can fix it later.
Sure.
Go to the timeline.
So this is the schema.
Therapy monitoring. So what is 6 and 4? What is that?
6 weeks and 4 weeks. So this point here is the start of immunotherapy containing regimen for cohort B. So we're saying the baseline sample will be collected 6 weeks prior to initiation of therapy, and then the first post therapy sample will be collected 4 weeks after initiation of therapy.
Hmm.
And then all subsequent samples will be 4 weeks plus minus 2 weeks to give kind of flexibility in the clinical scheduling.
Okay. I think the first one could be 4 plus minus 2 as well.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't have to be different. The first 4 weeks, not 6, you can leave the 6 weeks, but the first 4 weeks could be same.
Here, got it.
And cohort C is, yeah, you can. I mean, that's how the protocol is written, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, you can put that 4 plus minus 2 weeks for the cohort C as well. 4 plus minus 2 weeks, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and this is for how many times did you write?
I
10?
might not have that. I can put it in the summary. So it's up to 10 time points.
For both B and C.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Why don't you take out the 70 cc here? Because we just want to focus on the interval here.
Okay.
People will be allergic to 70 cc. Are you a vampire or something? They will, some people go crazy, I know. So it's not mentioned it there. Go down.
And then this is the last slide. It's just the list of collaborators we have.
Gene RADAR. What does that mean? Is that a product?
Yeah, this is the product name.
So we will keep this slide for our purpose, but for tomorrow's presentation, this is too
Mhm.
specific. So this is
Okay.
what I want you to do. Prednisone, you'll say cell-free DNA and cell-free RNA. Profiling, Delphi is copy number variation. It's DNA, right? It's ctDNA copy number variation. Proteomics mass spec. Bertis. Next. Okay. So take out the determa-IO. It's coming from tissue. We're not providing them with tissue, right? But just leave determa CNI. Elevation in genome-wide copy number. So copy number I is instability. I can't remember. So go to their website and it will say CNI is copy number, because they don't know what that means. Put in the parentheses, write out the whole acronym.
Sure.
Foundation is whole genome shotgun library. Mm. Okay, why don't you write whole genome? Just write whole genome sequencing. And fragmentomics. Yeah, that's it. OncoHost. So they, like Bertis, they have their own proteomics profile platform. Prophet is just the product name.
Mhm.
So whatever that is, write that multiplex something, whatever they describe in their homepage, right? The multiplex profiling platform, and erase everything else. And maybe just add that, yeah. Add that technology name to it. And group it. So maybe proteomics, then you can have 3 different companies, 3 different technologies. So even before company name, have a category, so proteomics, and then you have NGS. And under that NGS, you have Predicin, Delphi, and Foundation, and Oncocyte. And Predicin is, you could put target sequencing. So we have to justify, why are we using all these different companies? The Predicin does target sequencing. And then they do tissue informed MRD assay. Delphi, that's fine. Foundation, whole genome sequencing. In Foundation, you can do /methylation. I know they're looking at methylation too. And for us, not for the presentation, for us, put the amount of blood they require.
Mhm.
But is it up to 70, or is cohort B and C different in total amount?
It's up to 70. It will be like, so I was thinking like we can draw up to 70 mLs, and well, okay, so here's my first question. Do you think all of the, or most of the patients would be able to draw this much blood? Like, it is a lot.
It is a lot, but it's been done. We did it on the cohort A.
Okay, Okay, so then so what I was thinking was like, we will draw, the 70 mLs and whatever is left, from after we send out all the samples to the respective companies, we can just store it in our PathCore lab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But is that in the protocol that we're storing whatever is left?
So that will be going into the lab manual. So we can add that once we finalize all of that with the companies.
Okay. Okay.
Because just like with cohort A, we had left like 6 mLs of plasma
For
in
future,
the freezer, for future research in the PathCore lab. So I think we can do something like that to where, whatever is left after we do the calculations, we can just say it will be stored in the PathCore lab.
Mhm, mhm. Oh, oh yeah, the important thing. Go down.
Mhm.
So before all like proteomics and DNA, go up to the sub investigator. So you can put Hey, Jennifer Wu is still part of Northwestern. Let's make sure she didn't leave. So she's looking at circulating immune markers. And then Piping Lu is looking at circulating tumor cells. And exosomes.
And just to confirm, we're not sending any samples to Dr. Liu's lab this time.
No, we're storing it, and if she wants it, then we give out for future research.
Okay.
And Jennifer Wu, yeah. No, I just checked. She's still in Northwestern.
Okay.
And then Bin Zhang is a cytokine and single cell. And single cell RNA.
Single cell RNA. I don't know. Is that how you write single cell RNA? I'm not sure. I'm just making this up.
So put those first. Yeah. So you have to write it out single cell. So put that first in front of other companies.
Oh, these 3 labs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So put that category first and then lab. Because we have category first, proteomics, DNA, and then put CTC, exosome, and then this lab.
Okay. And then, so did you want Predicin to be under NGS or to be just in a
NGS.
category of its own? NGS. Okay, so all 7 companies will be either proteomics or NGS. And then before these companies, I'm going to put in the 3 labs, internal Northwestern labs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do 2 more. So Dr. Jian has our previous paper that came out from cohort A. So maybe, so we have few figures from that paper.
Mhm.
So like a maybe background from cohort A. So Jian, just provide few nice figures and some explanation about what we found from previous cohort A. And then also, Liam, you have, so PIR was part of cohort A, and we looked how PIR was associated with better response, but also time to toxicity. I think we found that, and Dr. Isu has poster. So look for that poster. She can send it to you, or you can find it in our email thread,
Mhm.
and may add those few figures. So it will be a few. I just want to give them a overview of what we did with cohort A,
Mhm.
and so that people know what, like their question's gonna be like, you collected 100 patients, and what did you do with it? You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I want to give them some figures from those presentations. So yeah, prepare that, and I'll review that overnight. Like
Sure.
maybe this afternoon, I will review them tonight, and yeah, let you know. Let's do that. I gotta leave. So what we're gonna do is, we don't have any other meeting, right? So
Mhm.
can you tell Susie that I can I can probably do a meeting through Zoom
Sure.
at 2:30. Let's make it 2:30. Tell Susie. And then send her a link. Will be a lab meeting link, so that I and Susie can do it. And then 3 to 4 is our lab, our book club. I'll do it through Zoom. 3 to 4. Right? Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
4. And then I have 4 to 3. I have a meeting at 4, right?
Double check.
Yeah, this is a checkpoint inhibitor call. So I'll do that. Okay. And I have another meeting at 4 to 4:30. So sometime tomorrow, let's make time to go through what Haesung prepared. So let's make time to do that tomorrow. I'll look at my schedule. Or if there's an empty schedule, just put that in, Liam. It's fine.
Okay.
But I'm coming in tomorrow, so. All right,
Sounds good.
guys, we'll wrap up here. I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye.